This is Jason Warbucks.
This is Lenny.
This is Shani.
This is your boy Steven, and you're now tuned into
The Perspicax.
What's going on, peeps? Another day, another hustle. You are now tuned into the Perspicax. We welcome you. Thank you for tuning in for episode 9. We're almost done this season, so if you haven't listened in yet, go backwards in time and then come forward back to hear it. My peeps, what up, Shani? Shani, what up, Lenice? And what up, Steven? How y'all doing this week?
You know the vibes, man. You know the vibes. You know the vibes. Another week, another episode of the Perspicax. Yeah, yo, I'm here. What about you guys?
I'm doing well. I'm doing very well. I'm with you guys.
Yeah, I'm doing well too. I'm still laughing. Like, you guys, the listeners, need to know all the stuff that happens before we even hop in here. Like, yeah.
And what we need you to do before you listen to our podcast, make sure all your devices are charged and on point, so you never miss a beat and you don't have to go back and listen to it again.
It's a good note.
It's just a good FYI in that.
Yo, it's so crazy.
I think it's a good note.
Because, we always try to play it off before we start recording, but...
We do. We always try to come in like, hello, we are doing well. Meanwhile, like 3 minutes ago, we were like yelling and
literally trying to get ourselves
crying.
together.
Yeah. Crying from
Wondering
laughter.
what's going on. If it's crying from laughter.
But more about us next week.
Right?
Oh, yeah. You'll hear next week.
Yes.
Next week's probably going to be my favorite episode. They all better tune in.
Nah, next week is the bonus episode. Everyone needs
Bonus
to tune in.
round.
Only for the viewers that have been with us since episode 1.
One.
Yeah, the
So-
big season finale is coming up.
Yeah, if you
Ooh,
wanna call it
were you
that.
talking about season finales?
Yes,
Yeah.
I did.
You know what's ending? Shani,
Tell-
tell them what's
what?
ending. Tell them what's ending.
It's sad to say that the Kardashians are gone away. In 2021, they'll no
Oh, yeah,
longer
what a
be here
shame.
to stay. Excuse me.
Okay,
I'm
Dr.
hurt.
Have a
Seuss.
streaming channel.
Yeah, like...
I'm hurt.
What do you mean,
Alright,
gone
one
away?
cat,
What do you
two
mean?
cats.
What do you mean? What's going on? I missed
Shot to
Well-
Mars?
No, they're finally going to end their seasons. So from watching them grow up as little tykes and minuscule money-making individuals, now we're going to
Before
see
the
them. Yeah, well, we got to see the transition from the plastic, and how it all grew
To the
and got pulled
Tupperware?
away.
From the plastic to
To
what?
the Tupperware? Tupperware?
Wow.
You know what?
Margarine
Guys,
container?
For those of you who can't see, Jason was playing the world's smallest violin while Shani was lamenting the end of Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
The world's
I'm
smallest.
personally hurt, and nobody
You're hurt?
seems to care. But that's fine. I know some of my viewers will appreciate the fact that, the Kardashians have given us about, 20 seasons of greatness.
I want it back.
And I think I probably watched 4, like not even 4, 3 episodes maybe, not even in its entirety. So yeah,
In its continuity, no.
yeah, no.
But what ties in with, speaking of the Kardashians, we're
Yes.
kind of one of them is kind of tied into what we're having today, because we are talking about toxic relationships. And one of the biggest kind of toxic relationships right now is our Oompa Loompa from Brampton and Meg Thee Stallion.
Did you?
Yes,
Wait.
I have no filter. Oh, sorry.
I'm going to
he's called
press
Tory Lanez.
pause 1 second.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Okay, yeah.
Did you say our? I'm not claiming anything.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry,
You called
you're
him
right.
an Oompa Loompa. You can't call him that. As per all the memes, he's a backpack.
Oh, right.
Oh, my
right.
Lanta Lou.
Backpack.
Yeah, Oompa Loompas are like small and round. Apparently, he's just small. That's just the memes. It's not my point of view.
No, you're
So
talk-
are we
you're-
saying small like Kinder Surprise or small like a kindergartner?
You know what? I want you to proceed with your thought process because I don't want to partake in insulting a man and his height. You know what? God made him special, okay?
Okay, that's cool.
Warbucks' keyword over there was kinder.
Kinder egging.
Yo, don't
It's just the fact. It's the fact that where I see it as this whole thing is a bag of just mess. How to put it. It's the fact that everyone wants a story, and I can't really side for what he did because you're supposed to protect your women, you're supposed to protect your queens. Whatever is going on, how's going on, and then her side of the story covering it up. Well, her side of the story coming out with it, him trying to cover it up, coming with a text like, "I'm sorry, I was drunk." Okay, sure.
Can you guys give background of the story right now for people who don't know what you're talking about? Only know an Oompa Loompa, a stallion, and sorry I was drunk.
Yeah.
Wow,
Poor
that's
Bucks.
interesting.
You need more context
We
on
need
this.
way more context.
Way more.
Shenny, I'm gonna throw this back to you.
Yeah,
again.
Shenny, break it down for them.
You want me to catch it? All right. Well, let me give you the
Break it down for
breakdown,
me.
folks. Okay. For those of you that don't know, these are all supposed incidents. We have no real facts on these incidents. However,
None.
we've been told through the lovely media that Kylie Jenner threw a party that Tory Lanez and his girlfriend at the time, Meg the Stallion, or if not girlfriend, girlfriend, if you get what I'm saying there. A situationship maybe, okay? Anyways, so they attended this party, and at this party, it seems like an altercation had formed at the party as well as in the vehicle on their way, I guess, from the party. And so be it, one thing led to another, and Meg the Stallion was shot in her foot. By who, we did not know for a long time. There was a bunch of speculations. All you saw were videos of her walking and her hands were up and she was backing out with her foot bleeding. You're like, what happened? We didn't know what happened. Then, recently, she decides to let us know what transpired. And she decides to let us know that Tory had shot her. So, as unfortunate as that may be, we didn't want to talk about it because we didn't know too much about it. But with everything going around, it just seems fitting for our toxic relationship topic to discuss the fact that this man, as per Meg, shot her. And we want to get down to the root as to why these things happen in relationships.
First of all, what do you guys think about that text message?
He was drunk.
I'm
That's
sorry.
what happened.
No, let me quote it because I have it right here. It's like, it says, I don't know, well, allegedly, because who knows how real this is. It says, "I know you probably never going to talk to me again, but I genuinely want you to know I'm sorry from the bottom of my heart. It should have never happened and I can't change what I did. I just feel horrible." Are you guys accepting that?
Where's the
Amen. Usher had
Hold
a
on.
better story in Confessions. Let's put it that way.
I'm done. Cancel me. Take my mic out. Wait. I'm done with Warbucks.
Usher in Usher's Confessions, I believed it more than what that guy's saying.
Facts.
You know what? I'm going to pass this to Lanice. Lanice?
Oh, Lordy.
Father guy.
It's-
Denise, you taking that as an apology? You taking that?
It can stay in my inbox. Like, it can stay in my inbox.
You're gonna
If I
leave
were
him on
her,
red?
if I were her, I wouldn't have responded. You shot me in my foot, and your apology is a text? Hey, I know you're probably never gonna talk to me. You're right.
Right?
You're right.
Right?
You know you're never probably ever gonna talk to me again. Yeah. Pretty
Yeah.
sure not.
Yeah.
You're lucky.
You have
you're
little
lucky I even
sense.
opened this. Yeah, you're lucky you even seen this message. Oh my gosh.
What?
So, I'm sorry, but the whole thing's
But
just
you guys
laughable
saw
how
that she
someone would
was
do that.
like when she was on IG Live, she was saying how
I
It-
know.
it is.
It is. No, it is.
so she was on IG Live and she was saying how she felt like she had to cover for him when the cops got there, right? Because okay, what do you guys think about that? I feel like on one side, she's also protecting herself because yeah, the cops come, you don't want to say yeah, we have a firearm in the car. But she was even saying like for him as a black male, she felt like she had to cover for him and protect him
Right.
from the cops, even though he had just caused harm to her. What do you guys think about that?
See, and that's why, like, I feel like we shouldn't even talk about, because honestly, I feel like their relationship was different for her to want to do that right away. Because if it wasn't a relationship or whatever, because she would already told whatever happened, went about it. Like, she didn't care who Tory Lanez was. She already told. But obviously, I feel like there's more than just a mutual or a musical relationship there. That, because come on, man. But Yeah, we'll never
But
get
what
the
if it was just merely like the fear of everything that was happening in the world to black men, that, you know what, I don't want that, like, we don't know what happened in the car, but maybe something happened, and like, let's just say she started an argument, and then you don't want to have a death on your hands because of an argument that you started, like, that would eat up your conscience. But I think she was really trying to come from a pure area and be like, hey, like, I really don't want him to go to jail or, you know, die from
But
this,
that's
so I'm just going to play
but
it off right now.
but you got shot in your foot. What do you mean you don't want him? Like, what do you?
But that just
How are
shows
you
the way
taking
that, like, women protect their men, you know, in these crazy
Sometimes to
times.
their own
I'm
detriment.
gonna be
And
that
that's
outsider
true.
on this one still, because I feel
All
like
right.
everyone's has their. They're not brother and sister. They're
No.
not
No,
blood.
that would be disgusting.
Nope.
Okay, come on. I'm going somewhere with this.
He's going somewhere.
Okay. Pulling it back.
But I'm
He
just
said,
saying.
I'm going somewhere.
But I'm saying if they were related, then it'd be a different story. But they're not. Like, there's no real ties other than to say, okay, I see what's going on in the world. I don't want that. But realistically, if you got shot in your foot and see, look how it's playing out now. It's just playing out so ridiculous. Because first of all, we only know her side of the story, and we don't know we know her side of the story, and whatever TMZ or LA Times or whatever is putting out on the internet. So who knows if this text message is real? I didn't see it on Instagram. Did you guys see it?
No, I saw like
The same
I
wording,
think,
right? People writing it out.
yeah,
Yeah,
people
yeah,
writing "Sorry, I was drunk." Like that's one I saw.
yeah. So I don't know.
But that's the stem of like a toxic relationship, though. We don't know if it's the fact that what happened in the car. He could have said, "Yo, you say anything, I'll hit you. I'll
True.
do something."
True.
Because a lot of times in toxic relationships, people will put like threats on you where you can't leave. Like abusive relationships are a huge red flag for toxic because a woman will stay with a man and he will degrade her, he will beat her, he will lower her standards to make her feel like nothing. But it's so toxic, she feels like A, she can either sit there and fix him and change it, or B, like fear for her life that she leaves, he's going to basically, he's going to attack. He might attack you, might attack your family. So a lot of people in a toxic relationship, they just don't know, they're torn on what to do, what's right and what's wrong. So she could have been in the fact where she's like, do I say something? Do I out this guy's career? Or do I stay here because he might have someone that come after me or come after my family? That's kind of what we don't know. It's kind of the whole base of it.
Do you think in like that whole toxic relationship bowl, like we call it a bowl? Do you think alcohol is an ingredient?
Sometimes, well, yeah. Sometimes some people are just under the influence and they don't. We've all been drunk before.
Right.
Everyone can say we've been drunk, and sometimes we act out of the character that we are normally. Our common sense is literally out the window. So sometimes when you do alcohol, you might say some things, do some things. So maybe that was there, but as someone like him, who while we're in quarantine did quarantine radio, I
Right.
would think he would have a little bit more sense in his head on
That's
doing stupidness when he knows he's in a limelight.
and that's why I'm so sorry to break everyone off, but I'm so taken aback at it because I feel the man has so much going on for him that there's way too much more of the story that we're missing out. Like, you know when you're done your big jigsaw puzzle and there's one little piece missing and you can't find it. You know what I mean? Like,
It's just
that's
incomplete.
yeah, it's just you can't take a picture of it. It's not done. Everyone's gonna see that little piece missing. We're all seeing
Unless
the
you
little piece
Photoshop it.
that's supposed to be there, but we're not getting it. So I don't know.
Well, I don't know. Like, to kind of touch on that, we all heard the line or the phrase, and I hope I get it right now. A drunk man's actions are a sober man's thoughts. No,
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
it right?
Yep.
Did I get it right? Boom, I got it right.
No, you got it
Right.
right. Drop
So-
it. Boom.
Okay, so we've all heard that. So I feel like when you put alcohol in the mix, if you've allowed yourself to get there, you've already thought and had preconceived notions of going there in your head anyways. Like, I know we all have different things that run in our head at times, but like for you to think about putting your hands, and then not even putting your hands, in this case, it was a whole weapon. Like, let's just say that hit the wrong area in her foot. Like, she was dying over
Yeah, if you hit an artery.
what could have been so severe that you would have to almost essentially kill somebody over. You know what I mean? Like, it's different.
I
I'm
can
not
answer
saying,
that. Nothing.
okay, then, oh, okay.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
I was like, oh gosh, what is
I was
his
ready for the
example?
answer. I was like, yo, let me
It's
hear
like,
it.
what?
No, I was gonna say nothing.
Nothing. I can't. Yeah, I'll answer that for you. Nothing can make me do that. To be quite honest. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
and
have to be.
I agree, and I think that that was a good question. Like when we think about toxic relationships or abusive relationships, alcohol can definitely be a big factor in the bowl. Because like alcohol reduces your inhibitions. So basically it like takes off what was holding you back before, right? So I heard somebody describe it as like it just intensifies the parts of you that are already there. So like some people when they get drunk, they're angry drunks or they're violent drunks, you know, those guys who always want to like start a fight. Or there's like
Yeah.
the people who get drunk and then they're all lovey-dovey and they're like, oh my gosh, girl, you're my best friend, I love you so much, and you just met them in the
Bathrooms for
bathroom.
females.
Female bathrooms at the club. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
y'all
a whole
do
it's
type
that.
of
kind-
relationship.
Right? So
Yeah, I just pee and go.
people who use being drunk as an excuse, like it's such a poor excuse because it's still you.
Yeah, it
It's still
is.
you.
Yeah. Facts.
true.
Facts. Well, I feel like
No.
I feel like in that situation it was definitely because they were at Kylie's house, right? Something
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that.
That's what they are.
And
Kylie's
I know
party.
these guys love their Don Julio, their tequila. So yeah.
Okay, but let me like spin it this way. Warbucks, you talked on something about being in an abusive relationship and not knowing how to get out of that, right? I think that plays on both the male roles and the female roles because males have a role as per society. Males have a role where they need to be more of the dominant one in place, the one that's making things run, and then like the female is supposed to be kind of, as per society, again, we are changing the narrative, but like the ones who are more submissive to it. So like when you get down to abusive relationships, like sometimes outside everything's picture perfect, like you would never know, and then the minute you get inside the home or like the area, then there's so much domestic violence, and it's like verbal abuse, physical abuse, and like there's different forms of abuse that breaks an individual down. So it's like sometimes women be out here for cries for help and they don't know how to act on it because they don't know if they're going to actually be heard. And I think that's the unfortunate part, right?
Don't forget too, men get abused as well.
That's true.
I'm not
honest.
gonna pull back from that. I agree.
Men get. There's times where, as much as a lot of times it's showing that it's the male being the abuser, being the toxic one. Sometimes it's flipped. Sometimes the female is the toxic one, and the male's just trying to do what he can do, but the female is just so. If you do this, I'm gonna leave you. I'm gonna take the kids. I know. And sometimes a male doesn't know what to do because if he tries to say or do anything, he's either gonna be looked as weak, or he's gonna be looked at like you don't know what you're talking about, and they'll take the woman's side because sometimes women do pose like they're in danger. But in reality, it's the man that gets abused.
So how would you guys get out of that situation if you were in it? Or how would you want to propose, I guess, suggestive advice if somebody that's listening could potentially be in this situation?
Get help. Talk to somebody, like anybody, like be the big enough person to walk away. This is for men and women. Be the big enough person to walk away. No one controls your own life.
Yeah.
Because if you take your own life, no one can get that back.
And like
So-
the key of like is wanting better for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's really
Yes, you love the person, but you know what? Love is not, he won't do it again. Love is not, this is just the first time. Love is, if you're doing it, like you said, if you're acting on it, you subconsciously already know you want to do it.
Facts.
I also think the key for exiting toxic or specifically abusive relationships is having a good support system. So whether it's like no matter what gender you are, making sure you're able to reach out to someone who's going to support you non-judgmentally and will actually like walk with you through the process. Because I think a lot of times a lot of people will stay in abusive situations because they're almost kind of like reliant on the person that they're in
Yeah.
the relationship with, whether that's like financially or for shelter or for whatever. So having people who are able to support you, and help you, help get you to a safe environment, maybe help, take care of your kids or help financially some way, is going to be like a really big resource to get out of those situations.
So, my question to spin it around, out
Oh.
of curiosity, not on that, but who has had a toxic friendship?
Oh.
Like, has anyone here had like a point where you've had someone in your life that you're just like, yo, how can I not? I need to drop you because
Yep.
I'm sitting here trying to do my
Yep.
job,
Yep. Yep. Yep.
and you're here about, oh, you don't want to be friends. Oh, you don't want to go out? Oh, okay, well, whatever. Or just there and breathing negativity, and you're like,
Yep.
how many of you out there have had something where you're just like, I know in a sense, sometimes it's mostly females. Get at me if you have to, but
I'm coming
most of the
straight.
female listeners out there, mm, mm, most of the female listeners out there
Yeah.
have had at least one or two friends in their life that you had to turn around and either teeth your man, teeth your blouse, or teeth your
What?
sandwich.
Wow.
What?
Man
To
blouse
the
or
man,
sandwich.
blouse, and sandwich.
Wait,
What
you're
a
saying you
combination.
had to turn around and do that, or you had to drop them
Yeah,
because they did that to you?
because they did that to you. Like you, I mean, that's say like females out there. Like someone's either they've come at you where you know it's simple. They know you're going for a guy that you like. They're your friend. They're your friend to big you up. Two twos. You find out that that same girl slid into your DM, into the DM,
Mm-mm.
or on the page
It's
liking
crazy you
the
say
guy.
that
And
because that happens regular, bro. It's just that
yes,
females are more like, I don't know what's the word, but
snake.
Wow, Warbucks.
I
Wow.
was
Wow.
hey, I was gonna say
Wow.
I was gonna say slithery, but we can say that too.
What else is
But
slithery besides a
Well, what does a
snake,
snake does?
Steven? What else
Wow.
is
Snail.
So you
slithery?
guys are
A
both implying the
snail.
same thing.
We could have also meant snail, but we said we
Yeah.
said.
No, but
Lenise,
it's
I'm
so
gonna let you
true
take
though.
this. Take the start. Start
I
this one
feel
off.
I will take the start.
I feel
Absolutely.
like you
Please.
guys, like, if you guys are beefing, we won't know you guys are beefing unless it happens in front of your eyes. But tomorrow you guys will be downtown taking pictures at the CN Tower,
Take a
going
picture of your bestie.
on
Say, yo,
lunch
that's my
dates.
bestie.
You go back to your crib, she goes back to her crib to her friends, and they're
I
talking
hate
back,
that sketch.
right?
That girl. I don't like how she
Wow.
acts. I don't like how she moves.
Wow, the slander right now.
Right?
The straight up slithery slander.
I'm talking from stuff I heard still, so
Yeah,
That's
I'm
fine.
talking, I'm
Come
talking about
with the
stuff I've seen.
defense or the perspective.
Listen, if
All
we're
right, so
going
ladies.
if we're going with the definition of what were the three examples you gave?
Oh, teeth your
Man,
man, teeth
blouse.
your blouse, or teeth your sandwich.
Blouse, man, blouse, or sandwich. If we're
blouse or
going
sandwich.
with those three examples as the definition of a toxic friendship, then I have never had one. Straight
Oh,
up,
must be
in all
nice.
my years,
wow.
I have never been in a friendship like that. I can say that I've had people who like I started getting close to them, and then I realized like I think Warbucks was saying kind of like the constant negativity. I think Warbucks was the one who
Right.
said it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that was just like their personality. It was like constant negativity, and I was like, I can't do this, and so I had to like distance myself from that person.
Seeing
But in
this
terms of
before
like,
quarantine.
yeah,
Yeah,
yes,
was this
it was,
before
it was
quarantine?
it was way before quarantine. But in terms of like someone who I considered to be like a close friend who then turned around and snaked me, nah, not that I recall.
So it's
But I
funny
know
you say
it.
that.
I know it is a common
It's a
experience
thing.
though.
Yeah, 100%.
Because there's a different perspective on, I think, sometimes female toxic relationships that men, you guys do have the, I guess, vision that we're more slick and sneaky in the sense of like how, well, teeth your man, blouse, and sandwich. This is going to be dropped on everything now. But
Yo,
Yep.
right now,
Blouse and
I'm putting that
sandwich.
on a shirt, yo.
I think
Blocks us.
Please do not.
I'm so done.
Don't let them teeth your man blouse or sandwich.
The sandwich.
I need a new co-host.
I want the first copy of that.
Yo.
I need it.
No.
I need it.
Women do something that's, I think, even more sneakier at times. And for our female listeners, I'm sorry, but like, let's all take a minute to reevaluate the friendships that we call friendships, because a lot of people will be in your corner, in quotations, but not supporting you. So they're watching your successes and watching how they unfold, and they don't say anything, but that's when the jealousy seeps in. That's when they're like, okay, like, I know what you're going through, so how the heck is it that you're here? Example, you get a new job, right? And you're like, oh, guys, I just got the new job. Oh my gosh, that's so great. Good job. Then in the back of their heads, they're like, how the hell did she get that job? Yeah. She's not qualified. Or I don't understand how she got that job because she's been struggling and da-da-da-da. So there's a sneaky, slithery way that females do go about things, but sometimes it's not about exactly displaying that so that you can see it. And then that's why I think it's harder sometimes, and why it also hits female friendships harder when you realize that the person that you, I guess, were close to is a snake or is jealous of you or doesn't have your best interest at heart because you invested in not seeing those negative qualities, right? Yep. Because they weren't on display. And I think that's one thing that happens a lot in female relationships. If it's somebody that you're friends with is not content with where they are at in their life, and you're in their eyes content with where you are in your life, then that's when the attack happens and you don't even see it. And then outside of it, like, you might tell somebody that, like, in this case, if I get a new job right now and I tell you, Lenice, that I got a new job, and then you go around and you tell Steven, yeah, she got the job, but like, I don't even know how. Right? It's not even in her field. Okay.
Does she deserve that job? But
then, as you guys said, then you'll go see it when I'm having my new job party. You see Lenice right there cutting the cake with me.
Right in the picture on Instagram. She's sharing it, tagging you.
And like,
my bestie's out here.
Right? So I think that's one of the ways that, like, females can be in, I guess, dare I say, toxic friendships and not look at that. So I would say to all females with female relationships to make sure you reevaluate and see if the person that's in your corner is actually in your corner for your successes and your downfalls. Because you know what? A real friend will be there when you fall. And at the same time, they're going to laugh, take a picture, but they're going to help you up and get you back on your feet to keep going. Right. So
grab a
that's what you got to look at.
Facts.
Yeah. And
go take
I was just going to say, like, sometimes people don't realize that they're in toxic relationships. So I think it's also important for us to kind of talk about some signs that you might be in one, because sometimes it's hard to recognize.
Okay.
And so sometimes one sign can be that the other person is really defensive. Like, you're just trying to share regular neutral things, or maybe you're trying to bring up something that you would prefer or that you don't really like that you've been seeing, and they just get super defensive, or you're like catching them in lies and stuff. That can be one sign. Yeah.
Why you always got to be like that for? Why do you always have to talk about that?
Why do you think everything's about you, Warbucks? Yeah, that's a great example.
Yeah.
That's a great example.
Why does it have to be about you? That's great, you got a job, but why you just have to talk about that? I have my problems with the man. What's wrong with you?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Another one, big sign is inflexibility. And I don't mean that it can't do the splits. I mean, like, their thoughts and their behaviors, world star, their thoughts and their behaviors are not flexible. Have you ever met those people where it's like the opinion that they have is just automatically how the world works? Like, they're not even open to different ways of thinking and seeing. Yes. So inflexibilities on their thoughts and behaviors. Also, a big one is, like, if you find, like, you're always the one who's having to, like, change your plans or change your schedule to accommodate them. Does that make sense? Like, it's just very one-sided.
Going, preach on it.
Yeah, it's one-sided, yeah.
Super one-sided. So, like, your efforts aren't reciprocated. Like, you are reaching out to them, checking in with them, offering to help them with this, that, and the other, but then they're just not giving you back that same energy. Like, you need to also be aware of that, you know? And kind of like the example that Warbucks was giving before is that, like, their needs are always the focus in the relationship. So, like, oh yeah, I know you're going through this, but girl, listen to what I'm going through, etc.
This is my problem.
Exactly. Like
Okay, so
downplaying.
let me hear from Warbucks and Steven some signs, some traits.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Of what, toxic?
Yeah, that you guys,
Yeah.
it could
Oh,
be relationship, it could, and relationship to our viewers is not a physical being in a relationship. It could be a friendship, it could be a
I guess
co-workership, but it's just a relationship that developed.
I would say like, patterns of like disrespect. Really, like if like
yeah.
say something happens one time and you're like, okay, like
And you allow it.
you know it, yeah, and then you see it continuously just getting worse and pushing the edge, and you're like, okay, yeah, this is how.
Yeah.
Either
The
obviously
people
you
are
can
just like,
try to fix it out,
sometimes you
but
have to check
if you
people.
see that it's exactly if you see that it's regular, then yeah, that's something you don't. Because at the end of the day, some people you can't change. So that's for me one sign, 100%. I don't know what about you. Definitely patterns of disrespect. That'll just throw me right off. And yeah, I would say
Yeah.
what dishonesty, 100%. That's another big one.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. What else?
Warbucks, you're not dropping yours?
Ooh, lack of self care.
Yeah. There's a lot of, lack of self-care. That's true.
That is a big one. Hey,
But
you wouldn't want to be with someone that's like basically always negative or pushing down. You know what I mean? Like not I wouldn't say that's always negative, but their mindset, like she said, it's like one way. So you don't feel like you could change them. So like you're not gonna be able to change them. So why would you continue to adhere to all of that? You know what I mean? So 100%.
Well, you shouldn't want to change them. They should take the event, like, initiative to change themselves. Like, they should see that if you're coming in positivity, that they should try to be a bit positive too. We all got problems that we have to go through. We all got things
That's
where we're
true.
just like, yo, it's holding me down, but it's only holding you down if you want it to. But some people are just so toxic where they come to you and it's like, oh, my life sucks.
Word.
I don't have this.
Yeah,
I
I don't
can't do
have
that. It's like, yeah, I know. All of our lives suck. Didn't you see what happened between March and June? All of our lives sucked. But you know what? It's just you
Right.
have to find your positivity in there
COVID.
and rearrange it back around for yourself.
Yeah, we
But
all had a
it's just,
toxic relationship with 2020.
Yeah, I still
Preach.
think it's still mad.
yeah,
Like,
we
it's
all have
still
those.
not done being toxic.
Oh, yeah.
It's so unfortunate.
Look, they,
Okay, like,
oh gosh, we're
so
only September. Eh,
don't,
it ain't
no,
done.
no. It's gonna end
Almost the end of the
eventually.
month. I mean, end of the year. Wow.
Don't fast track it. Just let it come naturally. Jumanji level 9 is coming potentially. Just let it come naturally, or let us figure out
Wow.
that we're at the top and we can say Jumanji, okay? And it's over.
No.
Just because we're at episode 9, we're at level 9.
Yeah, man. It's going up each month.
No.
No,
I'm
okay,
tired of being in
okay. Two
Jumanji.
traits that
Someone
I
roll a
look at though.
6.
Two traits that I can look at. One I'll relate to a relationship, and then one I'll relate to like a friendship, which can also correlate to a relationship. Relationship is controlling behavior, not allowing you to be who you are, and controlling the way that you are who you are. That to me is you're in a toxic situation, because if one cannot allow you to be
100%.
yourself and be your true
Yeah, that's
self,
true.
then they're only in there to control you and have you be somebody that is, I guess, readily available to them at all times in every way. Right? And if you're able to control somebody like that, then you really aren't there for the person as an individual, but more for your own selfish needs. That's for like a relationship, which
Yes,
can also
ma'am.
go into a friendship. And then my perspective on a friendship, it actually comes down to something called dependence. Right? I think that you're in a toxic situation when somebody literally has to depend on you for everything. I mean, like, they're going through something, it's different.
Yeah.
You hit me up, hey, but when you're like, okay, why aren't you free? Why aren't you able to do this? Why aren't you able to do that? It's like, whoa, stop depending on me and me alone. I'm one person, and I have to also, as you said, Warbucks, live my life too, go through my situations. So something that I learned this year was really heavy is see how people react to you when you say no.
Yeah.
Like, that will show you people's true colors. Because if
Facts.
somebody's always
Yes.
used to me coming
Facts.
out
Big
and coming
facts.
to them all the time, oh, we want to go for dinner? Sure. Mind you, let's just say, like, I can't even afford this dinner, but I'm going to go out just to help you out because you want to go out and be there. And then I say no the one day when I can't afford it, and you're big mad, you don't want to talk to me. I'm like, well, wait, was this really real? Because the one time you don't get your way, you're mad? You don't want to talk to me?
Oh, so you're just gonna
Those
be
are
like
some
that.
things
I just
I
want to
say
be
that
like
you
that
have
now.
to also look
like all
at.
the time. Oh, cool. You know what?
Yeah. Okay, well, you're not invited next time. Okay. So don't invite me.
Right?
You're mad, not me.
They don't
Shoot.
invite me.
Then the question
You're big
becomes,
mad.
were they in the relationship for you or for what you did for them?
Oh, drops the mic,
goodness.
drops the bar, and the podcast
Before
right now. I'm
anyone even
joking.
answer that, let's go to break. A word from our lovely sponsor.
Sponsors!
Feeling lucky? Grab a drink, share the link, and build your vibe.
You're now tuned into the Perspicax.
Welcome back, folks. Sorry for that little interlude, but Shetty has information that she wants to share with the team. Shetty, speak your voice, girl.
Okay, well, since you just set me up so nice, I might as well. Ooh. It's on my Build Your Vibe sweater. I'm just saying, like, you know, for the people that get the visuals. Oh.
You know the vibes.
Yeah.
I have the naked version.
No, you know, like, talking about being in abusive relationships or toxic, I don't even want to state abusive, but toxic relationships via friendships or actual relationships or situationships, whatever toxicness you have in your relationship. It's great to focus on the signs. It's great to focus on like what's going on, but it's also a self-care thing to focus on how to get out of it. Because you know what? Sometimes we get stuck in this position where we feel like there's nobody that's there to help us. We can't change our ways because, you know, we might lose something, or we feel like we're not enough without that person. And that's like always like the biggest thing I think it sometimes stems down to. So like with that being said, like we wanted to just make sure that we might not be able to help you. We're always open and willing to listen and to hear from our viewers and try to help you guys as best as we possible. But one of my main mottos in life since I was a little girl was everybody needs somebody when they feel like they have nobody. And if we're not the somebody's for you, or you don't have that outlet where you can plug into, we're going to send it to Lanice, and she's going to give you guys some of the contact info that you can use to just be heard. So Lanice, you want to take it away?
Yeah, absolutely. So here in Ontario, there are provincial crisis lines, and they are free, they're confidential, they're open 24 hours, and they can offer you with someone to talk to or crisis counseling, but they can also help you out with safety planning or legal information and other assistance like that. So in Ontario, the toll-free number is 1-866-863-0511. That's in Ontario. And then specifically in Toronto, it's 416-863-0511. And there's also one specifically for men as well. But I'll get back to that. I'm going to throw it to Steven for now.
Oh, wow. Well, I just wanted to add another hotline on there as well. Just if you're not in Canada or in Ontario, to all our other listeners, is a National Domestic Violence Hotline as well. So that's also 24/7, and it's 1-800-799-7233. I actually want to know about that men's one. I didn't know there's a separate one in Toronto, but it does make sense that there's separate ones.
Yeah, it actually just popped up while I was searching. So there's support services for male survivors, and that one is also toll free. It's 1-866-887-0015. And I just remember like also hearing somebody had tweeted, and they were talking about once you leave a toxic relationship, how important it is to then heal inside of you what attracted you to that person in the first place. Otherwise, you kind of find yourself with the pattern repeating, right? Like people who are in one relationship that's toxic, they get out of it and then they find themselves in another one. So I think in those situations, it's really important just to try and reach out, and maybe it's counseling or maybe it's just talking through it with your friends, but trying to figure out what inside of you also needs to be healed and taken care of so that you don't find yourself in the same situation again.
And I had
Garbage in, garbage out.
Facts. And I just saw this quote right here as soon as I pressed my iPad. And it says, love should never cost you your peace. It should never cost you your joy. It should never cost you your happiness. If there's more negative in the situation than positive, something has to change.
Couldn't say it better myself.
And this is episode 9 of the Perspicax.
We can't wait to hear your thoughts and see your views Post your comments. We'd love to hear from you.
This is Jason Warbucks Words.
This is Lenny.
This is Shani,
This is your boy Steven, and you're now tuned into
the Perspicax.